Hey friends, welcome to this class. My name is Mike, and today we'll be doing a short but sweaty flow, so I hope you enjoy. Let's roll out our mats and get started. All right, friends, let's start our practice today in child's pose. We'll come onto the knees. Excuse me, Prana, but I'm going to have to move you out of the way. Thank you. Drop the hips back to the heels. And just take a moment to allow yourself to be present on your mat for the remainder of our practice today. Give yourself permission to let go, to be here. Nothing to do, nowhere else to be, nothing to accomplish. Starting to tune into the breath, feel your body. Take 3 deep breaths in and out through your nose. Feeling the sensation of the air as it comes in, filling up your lungs. And as it goes out, emptying from the lungs. Take one more breath. Good, and then we'll meet in a tabletop position. Come onto your hands and your knees. Spread your fingertips nice and wide. Ground down through the tips of your fingers so that your knuckles are lifting off of your mat a little bit. We'll take our cat-cows here. Inhale, drop your belly down to the mat. Gaze up towards the ceiling. Exhale, empty the lungs around the spine. Inhale, fill up the lungs, lift your chin, open your throat. Exhale, empty, round the spine. Take 2 more cat-cows. Go at your own pace here. Following the breath, connecting with the breath. Okay, and then we'll meet back in a flat back here in tabletop position. Bring your hands a little bit forwards, and then we'll move right into downward facing dog. Lift the hips. Take a little movement here in your first downward facing dog. So maybe pedal into your feet or rock your hips from side to side. Starting to notice what parts of your body are feeling loose, what parts might be feeling a little bit tight today. Then find stillness in downward dog. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Let it out through your mouth. At the bottom of your exhale, gaze to the top of your mat and tiptoe your feet all the way to your hands. So we'll have the feet hips width distance here. And we'll come into ragdoll pose, so grabbing opposite elbows. Now, if you'd like to take a variation today, option to interlace your elbows behind your knees and then start to straighten your legs, and you'll feel a bit of a shoulder stretch in this variation. And if you hear any background noise, I apologize. That is my cat playing. Take one more breath here. And as you exhale, release your elbows. Bring your fingertips in front of your toes. Inhale, find a halfway lift. Lengthen your spine. Stretch through the crown of your head. And as you exhale, fold forward. Drop the head down. With your next inhale, rise all the way up to stand. Reach the arms up to the ceiling. Press the palms together. Exhale, bring the hands to heart center. We'll go through our sun salutations here. So drop your hands down to your sides. Inhale, extend the fingertips up to the ceiling. Gaze up to your thumbs. Empty your lungs as you fall down to the toes. Drop the head. Inhale, find a flat back halfway lift. With your exhale, plant your palms flat and step your feet all the way back into downward facing dog. With your next inhale, lift your heels coming onto your tippy toes. As you exhale, wave forward to a high plank position. Again, we'll hold here for 3 breaths. If you ever have to lower the knees, feel free. Try and use the core here, so lift your belly button upwards towards your spine. Take 1 more breath. Good, and as you exhale, lower the knees down. If they're still lifted, bend the elbows to bring the chest down. Untuck your toes, so come onto the tops of your feet. Inhale, lift your chest, coming into a baby cobra pose. Try and keep length in the back of your neck. 1 more breath. And as you exhale, lower the chest down. Press up onto your hands and knees with an inhale. And as you exhale, roll back into downward facing dog. Let's pause here for 3 breaths. Focus on grounding your heels down into your mat. And at the same time, try and press your fingertips down like we did at the start of class. Take 1 more breath. We'll go through another sun salutation. So gaze between your hands, step, or if you'd like to hop the feet forward, go for that. Inhale, stretch your spine, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, rise up to stand, extend the arms up, gaze up, press the palms together. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Again, inhale, mountain pose, reach the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, awaken your spine. Exhale, plant the palms, step back into high plank position. And we'll move into our chaturanga here, so bend your elbows. Option to lower the knees. We're coming into a low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Lift your chest, roll your shoulders back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Pause here, find stillness for 2 breaths. One more breath. Gaze to the top of your mat. Step or float the feet forwards. Inhale, find a flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, root to rise, mountain pose. Exhale, pull your hands to heart center. We'll do 1 more of those. Inhale, extend the arms up. Maybe take a baby back bend here. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, plant your palms. We'll go from high to low plank. So if you want to take a jump back, feel free to hop back. Bend the elbows down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Pause here for 1 breath. Gaze to the top of your space. Step or float the feet between your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise up, straighten your arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. All right, lower the hands down to your hips. And with our next inhale, we'll move into Utkatasana chair pose. Bend your knees, reach the arms up. Find stillness here. Spread your fingers wide. Soften your shoulders away from your ears. Breathe for 3, 2, and 1. Straighten the legs, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, plant your palms flat. If you'd like to step straight back into downward facing dog, feel free. Otherwise, if you want to take a vinyasa, we'll step back into a high plank and then bend the elbows into a low plank. Inhale into upward facing dog, lifting the chest. Exhale, roll back downward facing dog. So feel free to always skip vinyasas or add them on, whatever feels better for you. From down dog, inhale, lift your right leg up to the ceiling. Exhale, step it between your hands. Feel free to take a couple little steps to get it there too. And then plant your back foot flat on the mat. With an inhale, spiral your arms open, come into warrior number 2. So finding the different dimensions of the pose, finding the shape. You can lock your eye gaze on your front fingertips here. And then focus on the breath, feel the body. Just be present in the pose. With an inhale, reverse your warrior. So slide your left hand down your back leg, reach your right arm towards the wall behind you. Maybe gaze up towards your top fingertips here. Try and stretch through the right side of your body for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly come back into a warrior 2 shape with the arms. And then lower your right fingertips down to the mat. If you have a block, you can bring your fingertips to the block as well. And then from here, keep reaching your left arm up towards the ceiling. Lift your left leg up, coming into Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose. Try and keep the whole bottom of your right foot grounded onto your mat. The big toe side and the little toe side. And then work to spiral your left shoulder open towards the ceiling for 3, 2, take 1 more breath, and 1. Good work. Lower your left foot down to meet your right foot, top of your mat. So the big toes are touching each other. From here, step or hop the feet about hips width distance on your mat. With your peace fingers, so your first 3 fingers, grab your big toes. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold forward, drop your head. Feel free to take a little micro bend in your knees here if that feels more comfortable for you. Really relax your head, soften through the back of your neck. Take 2 more breaths. Good, then release your toes. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms flat, and again, you choose here. So step straight back into downward dog, Or take a vinyasa with me if you'd like. So stepping into high plank, bend the elbows into low plank. Knees can stay lifted or they can lower. Inhale, upward dog. Firm your glutes and your thighs. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good work. Inhale, lift your left leg up. Exhale, step your left foot forward. Take your time getting there. Plant your back foot flat, ground down through the pinky toe of your back foot. Inhale, spiral your arms open, warrior two. Try to find a straight line with your arms. So maybe even gaze back towards your back arm. Notice where it is in space. And then find stillness. Focus on your breath. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Reach your front arm back. Again, option to gaze up towards your top fingertips here. Find a little bit more length through the left side of your body. Last breath. And then slowly come back into that warrior two position. And then from here, bring your left fingertips to the top of your mat on the left side of your foot. Again, if you've got a block handy, feel free to bring them to a block. And then lift your back leg, reach your right arm up towards the ceiling. Half moon pose. So start by focusing on your left foot. Try and keep all four corners of your left foot grounding down into your mat. If you feel steady, you can progress by gazing up towards your top arm and then spiral open through the right shoulder for 3, 2, and 1. If your eye gaze is up, bring it down. Lower your right foot down to meet your left foot. So again, the feet are together here, top of the mat. And from here, we'll come into a Malasana prayer squat. So bring your feet as wide as the edges of your mat. Toes are going to be pointing outwards towards the sides of the mat. And then hands come to heart center. Work to gently press your elbows into your knees. And at the same time, lightly squeeze your knees into your elbows. And then try and find a little more length through the spine. Take a deep breath in and out. And from here, we'll plant the palms top of the mat and we'll play with crow pose. We're in perfect position. So if you want to move right into it, if it's in your practice, go for it. Otherwise, take it step by step. So spread your fingers, ground down through the palms. Bring your knees towards the backs of your arms. And then keep your eye gaze in front of you. Keep looking forwards. And then maybe lift one foot or lift both feet. So wherever you are, play with it or hold it if you're in it for 3, 2, and 1. Either lower down, or if you'd like to take a jump back into low plank, you'll kick your toes towards the back of your mat, bend the elbows, come into your low plank, flow through a vinyasa, or step straight back into dog. Your choice. We'll all meet back in downward facing dog. Good work. Gaze to the top of your mat, step or hop forwards. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, press down through your feet, reach the arms up, gaze up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Good work. We'll move into standing leg raise. So lift your right knee up towards the ceiling. Bring your left hand to your left hip. Start by bringing your right hand on top of your right knee. Straighten your left knee as much as you can. Stay here, or if you want to grab your big toe with your peace fingers, feel free. And if you go for that option to straighten out your right leg, it doesn't have to be perfectly straight. It can just be like halfway straight, or just keep the hand on the knee. Take one more breath here. Slowly start to move your leg to the right side of your space. If you fall out, that's okay. Falling is learning. Maybe gaze over your left shoulder if you feel steady. Take one more breath. Slowly come back to center. Find the balance. And lower down. Good. Open your palms towards your sides. Take a deep breath in. Let it out your mouth. And we'll move into the left side. So lift your left knee up. Bring your right hand to your right hip. Left hand on top of your left knee. So again, you can totally stay here. This is a great place to start. If you're very comfortable here, option to grab that big toe. And then start by straightening the right leg as much as you can. And then if you have the toe, maybe start to straighten that leg. More important than getting your leg straight, if you have the toe, is to keep your spine straight. So notice if you're tending to lean back a little bit. Take one more deep breath. Doesn't matter if you have the toe or the knee. Slowly start to open your leg to the left side. Finding the balance here. And if you're feeling steady, gaze over your right shoulder. Last breath. Slowly come back to center. And lower your left foot down. Good work. Big inhale. Reach the arms up. Mountain pose. Full exhale. Fold forward. Inhale. Lengthen the spine. Exhale, plant the palms, and we'll move back into downward dog. So either step back or go through a vinyasa at your own pace. Inhale, lift your right leg up to the ceiling. Exhale, swing it through half pigeon pose. Drop your back knee down. Effort into ease. So find your variation here. Maybe come onto your forearms. Maybe crawl the fingertips out in front of you. Take some nice deep breaths. And with your exhales, see if you can soften your right hip a little bit more with each breath. Notice where the mind goes when you find stillness. Oftentimes it tends to wander off, and that's normal. That's the habit pattern of the mind. The monkey mind, one branch to the next. That's part of our practice, is to notice when the mind wanders and without judgment, bring it back to the breath, bring it back to the body. Take 2 more breaths here. If you're folded forward, start to crawl the fingertips back and then lift your chest up. And from here, swing your back leg forwards. And we'll come into double pigeon pose. So a couple options. Option 1, straighten your left leg and then bring your outer left ankle to stack on top of your right thigh, right on top of your knee, or I should say right before the knee joint. If that's easy, you can bend your right knee, and then same thing, you'll stack the left ankle on top of the left or the right thigh, right next to the knee. So wherever you go, inhale, find some length through the spine, through the crown of the head. And as you exhale, option to crawl your fingertips out in front of you and start to fold forwards here. You can flex your left foot if you'd like. That might feel a little bit better if you have any knee problems. Take 3 breaths here. Last breath. And then start to lift the chest back up. And from here, we'll take it one step further. So bend your right knee so that your right heel comes right next to your left glute. And then cross your left knee all the way on top of your right knee. So try and get the knees to stack on top of each other the best that you can. It doesn't have to be perfect here. This is called cow-facing legs. From here, inhale, reach the arms up to the ceiling. Exhale, thread your right arm underneath your left arm like you're doing eagle pose. And if this bind is uncomfortable, you can grab opposite shoulders with your hands. Wherever you go, inhale, lift the elbows. And as you exhale, start to fold forward here. So drop the elbows down towards your knees. Relax your head down. Take 3 breaths. With your next inhale, start to lift the elbows, unwind the arms, and unwrap your legs, and we'll swing back into downward facing dog. Your hips might feel a little bit tight after that, so feel free to pedal them out. Rock from side to side, maybe bend a knee, make some circles, whatever feels good. And then find stillness again. Inhale, sweep your left leg up. Exhale, half pigeon pose. Use your breath as a tool to find presence, to encourage your body to relax. Take 2 more deep breaths, following each inhale and each exhale. Start to lift your chest back up, crawl your fingers back towards your body. swing your back leg forwards. We'll move into our double pigeon here. So option 1, straighten your left leg, cross your right ankle on top of your left thigh, or bend the left knee, stack the shins on top of each other. And again, option to flex those right toes if you'd like to. Inhale, lengthen the spine, lift the chest. And as you exhale, crawl the fingers out. Go at your own pace here, no rush. Be patient with your body. Three more breaths. Last breath. And start to lift the chest up. And we'll move into our cow face legs. So bend your left knee as much as you can to bring that left heel next to your right glute. And then cross your right knee on top of your left knee. Maybe scooch around a little bit. Try and find that positioning of the knees the best that you can. And once you've found it, inhale, lengthen through the top of your head. And as you exhale, try and keep a straight spine here. And then we'll cross the left arm underneath the right arm. Take a deep breath in as you lift the elbows up. And as you exhale, start to fold forward, drop them down. Three breaths. Last breath. And with your next inhale, lift the elbows up. Exhale, unwrap the arms, unwrap the legs, plant the palms, downward facing dog. Again, counter stretch a little bit here. Move how you'd like to. And then come into stillness. Inhale, lift your heels, come onto the tips of your toes. Exhale, wave forward into a high plank position. Lower your knees down to the ground. Come all the way up onto the knees. We'll move into camel pose. So untuck your back toes to bring the tops of the feet flat. Bring your hands to your lower back with your thumbs facing the outsides. So your side bodies, and then your other fingers facing towards your spine. And then at your own pace, start to gently press the hips forward and drop your head back, drop your chest back, gaze up towards the ceiling, and maybe even start to gaze behind you, if that feels okay on your neck. You can stay here, or if at any point you want to come a little deeper, you can bring your hands down towards your heels. For 3. Keep lifting your rib cage up. Press your shins down. 2. And 1, start to rise back up. Bring your hands to your lower back if they're down to your heels. And then we'll come to a seated position in the middle of the mat. Bring your legs forward. Bring your big toes together. Inhale, extend your arms up. Gaze up. Exhale, fold over your legs. Paschimottanasana. Grab whatever is accessible. your ankles or the sides of your feet. Maybe peace fingers to big toes. Inhale, lengthen through your spine. Lift your chest. Exhale, fold forward. Take 3 breaths. With your next inhale, start to rise back up. Release what you have with your hands. And then make your way onto your back, flat on the mat. And we'll move into our upside down poses, our inversions. So either waterfall or shoulder stand. Waterfall, just lift your legs up towards the ceiling. If you'd like to, you can even bring your legs to a wall. And then straighten the legs next to the wall. It's more of a restorative version. If you have a block, you can put a block behind your back or shoulder stand. Lift your legs all the way up. Bring your hands to your lower back. So again, be mindful of where the mind goes in each pose. Notice when it tends to wander off. Notice when it starts to think about what I'm going to do after this practice. Or notice when it starts to think about something that happened earlier today or yesterday. And keep in mind that's all normal. It's all normal, but just when it happens, try and redirect your attention to the practice, to the pose, to the breath. If you'd like to move into plow pose, go ahead and drop your feet behind the head. Otherwise, feel free to hang out right where you are. If your toes touch down in plow pose, option to interlace your fingertips and then straighten the arms. If the toes aren't quite touching yet, I would recommend keeping your hands on your lower back for now, just to support yourself a little bit extra. Breathe deeply and fully. And slowly start to roll out onto your back, one vertebrae at a time, nice and controlled. And eventually lower your heels down to the top of your mat. Take your time getting here. Once you're on your back, hug your right knee into your chest. And with your left hand, guide your right knee over to the left side of your mat. Open your right arm to the right side. Gaze over your right shoulder. Try and get both of your shoulders flat on the mat here, the best that you can. One more breath. And then start to twist back to center and switch your legs. So the right leg will straighten out, left knee will hug into the chest. With your right hand, guide your left knee over to the right side of your mat. Extend your left arm open to the left side. And then start to twist back to center again. This time, hug both of your knees into your chest. Wrap your arms around your shin bones. Try and press your lower back down so it's flat on the mat. Try and find length in the back of your neck as well, all the way through the spine. And then lift your forehead up to your knees. Squeeze everything together into a tight little ball. Use your core to lift your chest for 3, 2. Take one more deep breath in through your nose. Let it out through the mouth. And then open up your arms, open up your legs. Find Savasana pose. Let the eyes close. Do whatever you need to do to make yourself feel really comfortable here. If some extra movements might help, wiggling the toes or wiggle your fingers, feel free to do that. And then gradually start to let go of any control over your breath. Finding the natural rhythm of the breath. Moving into a state of surrender, just for a couple minutes here. Start to wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingertips. Take a nice deep breath into your lungs, filling your lungs and your body with fresh air. And let it out through your mouth. Reach your arms overhead. Spread your fingers, take a full body stretch. Point through your toes. And then roll onto either side of your body. Your choice. Come into a fetal position. Relax your ear on top of your arm. And then slowly make your way all the way up to a seated position, top of your mat. Find a nice tall spine. Find length in your lower back. Find length in the back of your neck. Soften your shoulders. Bring your hands to heart center. Press your palms together. And we'll take one closing breath together and inhale through your nose. And a slow exhale out the mouth, letting go completely. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope that you enjoyed this class. I hope you're feeling good. Namaste. Thanks so much, guys. Again, my name is Mike, and if you have any questions, comments, or feedback for me, please let me know in the comments below. Maybe leave me a like or hit the subscribe button if you'd like to see more of my videos in the future. Thanks again. Namaste.